I remember the exact moment my life split into before and after. It was supposed to be the happiest night of my life. The kind people spend years dreaming about. The kind you imagine when you're a kid, staring at the ceiling and wondering who you'll end up with. Her name was Emily. She laughed with her whole soul. That's the only way I can describe it. Like the world hadn't hurt her yet, even though I knew it had. She carried light in a way that made you forget your own darkness. And somehow, she chose me. The ceremony had been perfect. Warm summer air, golden sunlight fading into twilight, fairy lights strung across the trees like tiny stars. When she walked down the aisle, everything else disappeared. I didn't hear the music. I didn't see the guests. I just saw her. When she reached me, her hands were trembling. "So are you," she whispered, smiling. "I'm terrified," I whispered back. "Good," she said. "That means it matters." I thought that would be the most intense moment of the night. I was wrong. The reception blurred into laughter, music, glasses clinking. People hugging us like we had just done something heroic. Maybe we had. Loving someone that deeply always feels like a risk. By the time we got back to the hotel, the world had quieted. It was just us. Emily kicked off her heels the moment we walked in, laughing as she nearly lost her balance. I caught her instinctively, and for a second we just stood there. Close, real. "Hey," she said softly. "Hey." Her fingers traced the edge of my jacket, then slowly slid up to my face. There was something in her eyes, something deeper than happiness. Something unsettled. "You okay?" I asked. She hesitated. "Marcus, if something ever felt wrong, you'd tell me, right?" I frowned slightly. "Of course. What do you mean?" She shook her head quickly, forcing a smile. "Nothing, forget it. I'm just overwhelmed. I should have pushed harder. I should have asked more, but I didn't, because I thought we had time." It happened fast. Too fast. One moment she was standing in front of me, reaching for my hand. The next, she wasn't. She collapsed. No warning, no scream. Just gone. "Emily?" I remember dropping to my knees so hard it hurt. Shaking her. Calling her name like if I said it enough times it would pull her back. "Emily, wake up. Hey, this isn't funny." Her skin was already too cold. That's what I remember most. Not the panic. Not the shouting. Not the sirens that came later. The cold. "They told me it was sudden cardiac arrest. Sometimes it just happens," the doctor said, his voice calm in a way that felt offensive. No prior symptoms. No warning signs. I stared at him, waiting for him to correct himself. To say they'd made a mistake. "She was healthy," I said. "I understand this is difficult." "She was 28, I snapped. "She ran every morning. She ate better than anyone I know. I'm very sorry, Marcus." "Sorry?" That word started to feel like noise. The funeral came and went like a dream I couldn't wake up from. People hugged me. Told me I was strong. Told me Emily would want me to move on. They didn't understand. Emily wasn't something you moved on from. She was something that became part of you. And when she died, something inside me died with her. I stopped sleeping, stopped eating properly, stopped answering calls. The house felt too big, too quiet. Every corner echoed with her absence. Her coffee mug still sat on the kitchen counter. Her jacket hung by the door like she might come back for it. Sometimes I caught myself listening for her footsteps. That's how grief works. It tricks you into hope. A week later, I found the envelope. It was tucked inside her dresser, beneath a stack of neatly folded sweaters. I wasn't looking for anything specific. I don't even know why I opened that drawer, but there it was. My name written on the front. Marcus. My hand started shaking before I even touched it. Something inside me already knew. I sat on the edge of the bed staring at it for what felt like hours. Then I opened it. Inside was a letter. Her handwriting. Messy, familiar, alive. "Marcus, if you're reading this, it means something went wrong. I'm so sorry." My chest tightened as I kept reading. I didn't know how to tell you. I tried so many times, but every time I looked at you, I couldn't do it. I didn't want to ruin the happiness we had. But you deserve the truth. There was a pause in the ink, like her hand had hesitated. "I have a heart condition." The words blurred as my vision filled with tears. "I was diagnosed 2 years ago. It's rare, unpredictable. The doctor said I could live a long life, or I could collapse without warning. I chose not to tell you. I stopped breathing. I told myself I would. Every day I told myself, tonight, I'll tell Marcus, but then you'd smile, or make a joke, or look at me like I was your whole world. And I got selfish. I wanted to be your future, even if it meant risking becoming your pain. I would have stayed, I whispered, my voice breaking. I would have stayed anyway. You deserve to be angry, but please know this. I didn't marry you because I thought I had time. I married you because I knew I didn't. The room felt like it was closing in on me. Every moment we shared, every laugh, every promise. She had known, and she still chose me. I wanted one perfect day where I was just your wife. Not a patient, not a risk, just yours. Tears fell onto the page, blurring the ink. And if that night was my last, I'm grateful it was with you. I love you. Always, Emily. I don't remember how long I sat there. Maybe minutes, maybe hours. The grief I thought I understood shifted into something deeper, something more complicated. She had lied to me. She had hidden something that could have changed everything. And yet, she had loved me enough to give me that day, to give me that moment, to choose joy over fear. For the first time since she died, I cried differently, not just out of loss, but out of understanding. I started noticing things I hadn't before. The way she held my hand a little tighter that night. The way she looked at me during our vows, like she was memorizing me. The question she asked in the hotel room, if something ever felt wrong, you'd tell me, right? She hadn't been asking about me. She had been asking for forgiveness. I walked outside that evening for the first time in days. The air felt different, not lighter, but real. People passed by, living their lives, unaware of how fragile everything was, how quickly everything could disappear. I used to think love was about building a future. Now I understood. Sometimes love is about giving someone a moment so perfect, it lasts longer than a lifetime. I still talk to her, not out loud, but in the quiet moments. When I see something she would have loved, when I hear a song that reminds me of her laugh, I don't ask why anymore. I don't ask what could have been, because I know the answer. We had our moment, our perfect, fleeting, devastatingly beautiful moment, and somehow, that was enough. A week after I found the letter, I folded it carefully and placed it back in the envelope, but not in the drawer. I kept it with me, because it wasn't just a goodbye. It was proof that even in the face of uncertainty, even with time slipping through her fingers, she chose love, and she chose me.